if anyone's going to make Amulet Titan look good, it's going to be Jack Potter. You might, of course, recognize him as he is a great player. He's been making it onto the Pro Tour. But House of Mana online for anyone who has lost to him over and over and over again like I have.
I believe you said he was cracked. And for those of us who aren't cool with the lingo of the kids these days, that means very, very good.
Very good.
At this Amulet Titan archetype. On the other side of things, we've got Jason Irgang playing Hollow One. So tell us what we expect to see in this matchup here, Corey.
Well, Hollow One is a deck that is trying to be extremely aggressive. So the goal is you have the Hollow One there in hand. You want to draw a bunch of cards, cycle some Street Race, stuff like that. Play Hollow One or multiple on turn 1 or 2 or something like that, and try to get Jack dead as fast as possible. The thing about this matchup, though, Jack's deck is also extremely fast, so I would think Joseph is going to have to do some interacting, which there's not a ton of it that interacts profitably against Jack. So I would think Mr. Potter here is pretty advantaged.
I do love this dice here for the Nethergoyf as that comes down on turn 1. Arboreal Grazer 2 hitting the battlefield for Jack Potter, so getting the ramp going here as quickly as possible. So in my preparation for this, I'm very new to Modern, so this is all like, woo, what's happening here? It's all shiny and bright. Yep. But, Amulet Titan, the most important thing is to have ramp in your opening hand.
Yeah, being able to have elements to get your lands down as fast as possible and have the namesake card Amulet, definitely what it's all about. And, Amulet is a deck that I think is actually quite well positioned in the metagame. I think it has a pretty strong matchup against Breach. It's very close there. And, it does pretty well against the energy decks since they've been trimming on Blood Moons and stuff. So I actually think Amulet is at a pretty solid place right now.
Follow-up here is going to be Spelunking. It's a fun card to say, or name to say, and it also gets you some extra lands down on the battlefield here. So ramp aplenty here for Jack Potter. Turn passes back. Hollow One and Nethergoyf growing. And we're going to take care of that Arboreal Grazer, though. Just get the blockers out the way and start dealing a big old chunk of damage.
Yep, this is a huge hit, and there is easily a way where Joseph can piece together a lethal attack next turn. So buckle up. This is the turn for Jack. Spelunking is kind of Amulet of Titan 5 through 8, and we'll be able to do a lot of good work here if Jack has the tools available.
There's a Saga, land for turn. What's the follow-up here going to be for Jack? Because if we get one more spell in the bin, then, that's pretty much lights out for him.
Yep, here is Scapeshift. So Scapeshift getting rid of all of these lands. And, we're going to see, I assume, some Lotus Fields. Any kind of amount of lands that piece together 6 mana to then start doing your Amulet things. Jack's also moving very fast. He's the type of player that once he has it, he knows what to do, to say the least.
Got a breeding pool there. Teleria West, I believe.
Yep.
Lotus Field.
So they're all coming into play untapped thanks to Spelunking. So already has 6, 7, 8, 9 mana available. So no matter what, you're able to pick up the Teleria West, transmute it for a Summoner's Pact, play Primetime with just what Jack has on the battlefield.
Primetime, for those of us who are new to the format, Primeval Titan.
There you go.
And then Primetime goes and fetches something that gives it haste, something along those lines, or is he not worried about that right now?
No, definitely will be trying to win the game here. That being said, the Handwear Battlement is in the graveyard, but I have no real question in my mind that Jack will still find a way to win this game.
See the judges just getting a mana pool sorted out here, so 7 green floating now for Jack with all those lands that came into play off of the Scapeshift. So gonna go digging again, finding some more lands, and let's see where he goes from here. Yeah,
could easily be Summoner's Pacting for the Aftermath Analyst to then mill some more lands over, get them into play. Then when you get Teleria West the second time, then you go for Titan. Then you have the battlements in play. Plenty of things that Jack can do here.
All right, well, doing it like you draw it up. Aftermath Analyst is going to hit the battlefield now. 5 green mana floating. Mill some stuff, could bring back all those lands. That's gross.
It's so gross. It's so gross. And these Hollow One decks, you know, while they are very fast, while they are very aggressive, the only piece of interactions is just damage-based removal, and that's just not it when it comes to game 1. So we're going to be looking to the sideboard to be able to bring in things like Thoughtseize. You know, the best kind of cards are Blood Moon style of effects.
Yeah.
But Joseph just doesn't have those, so it is going to be a tough matchup for him to win.
Yeah, it's feeling like that. I mean, he has plenty of power on the board right now. Jack's down to 9, but, you know, Jack is basically playing solitaire at this point.
100%.
Just going through the motions, getting as much mana floated as he possibly can. And now what else is in hand here for him to finish this game out?
Yeah, there's a reason he calls himself House of Mana Online. He is definitely, his house is full of mana constantly here.
Oh, yeah.
His mana pool, his house, it's all full.
Tappy, tappy, tapping.
And Jack has played this deck basically through every iteration of Amulet Titan. Played it when there was the One Ring, played it before that, and is just kind of explaining, this is what I'm going to do. I can go through it if you want, but, you know, it's always good to have your opponent go through this, especially at least once.
At least once, just to, you know, represent that they know what they're doing. There's no doubt that Jack knows what he's doing here, but...
Exactly, but you want to see exactly how your opponent's going to kill you, so then how you can interact with it post-board.
Yeah. Kudos to Joseph for not scooping here, because every time I try to play this deck on MTGO, people just scoop. It's like, no, come back.
Come back, we're having fun.
I want to see what I'm doing. Come on.
Exactly.
There we go. There's prime time. Primeval Titan hits the board. We're going to go find some more lands. Dump those on the battlefield.
And with the way it works here, you know, Jack won't settle with just one Primeval Titan. It'll be kind of the scenario where there's the mirror pool. You'll be able to get another Primeval Titan. It wouldn't shock me is to assemble a scenario where Jack's like, I will attack you with infinite Primeval Titans, and I will deal you infinite damage, even though, of course,
Wait,
that's
hang on.
that's
How do we
extreme.
go infinite?
With the mirror pool, being able to
okay.
copy Primeval Titan, then you use the Shifting Woodlands, target the Aftermath Analyst in the graveyard, sacrifice it, then the Shifting Woodland goes to the yard, comes back, the Aftermath Analyst is in the yard, copy it again, keep going and keep going, and you will just have as many Primeval Titans as you want.
Good grief.
Even though we really don't need that many here. And here's how you. I think I just mouth read the words "infinite Titans."
That is silly. I love this. I mean, I don't want to be sitting across from it. That's for sure. So, Joseph, I feel you, man. But okay, so Joseph is happy with this explanation. Lots of big Titans, lots of big deadness happening over here. Sideboard, though, you mentioned he doesn't have that much to do here. So, what on earth does he have to draw to get this game done before we see that again? Yeah,
Joseph really needs a much faster start than just another go. If you really want to have those hollow ones, ideally a couple of them right away would be ideal. The Meltdowns are okay. The Thoughtseizes are okay. But outside of that, this is not really the matchup that I would say Joseph is super prepared for. And to be fair, Amulet Titan does get that advantage with the fact that it's not expected to be the number 1, 2, or 3 most played deck, but the diehard Amulet gamers will, of course, still bring this, and it still does pretty well here and there. Dom Harvey just top-8'd his U.S. or his Canadian regional championship with Amulet as well.
Not surprised.
Not surprised at all. He's a master of the deck as well. So.
What about this Magebane Lizard? That's cute.
That is cute, but I don't think that is going to do anything here. That is a card that is primarily for Breach. It's a very tough card for Breach to deal with it. And then from Jack's side, always interesting how they sideboard here. I would think the Seals seem pretty good if you want to just bounce some hollow ones. Force of Vigors probably are pretty strong if you want to just slow down the hollow one itself. I think basically Jack's just going to be looking at Joseph's deck list and thinking, how do I lose? And I would think come to the same conclusion that hollow ones, 2 of them on turn 1 is probably the biggest way that he would lose. So we're going to see him probably prepare for that.
All right. Well, while the players get their Sideboarding is sorted out. Just a reminder, friends, that we have a brand new set. It is pre-release weekend this weekend. Aether Drift is available now to order from starcitygames.com/MTG/Aether Drift. Join the Daredevil races from across the multiverse as they compete to claim the Aether Spark. 3 planes, 1 explosive set. Experience all the high-speed action in Magic's first racing-themed set.
I love it. I love it. I'm excited to draft with this, I must say. Start playing some Standard with it. Look forward to the Pro Tour here in a couple weeks with that. Should be really exciting. And, I believe is available to be played next week.
Yeah.
Next week already. So
I think the 13th is the actual release. But, pre-release is this weekend. So if you are out and about and you want to head to your local game store, be sure to go and get some games in with it. Get some reps. Yeah.
Or if you're in Portland, I mean, I've been walking around. I've been seeing a lot of Aether Drift, sealed deck, a lot of limited going on here at these events. Yeah. Always something fun to be doing at these SCG cons, especially over pre-release weekend. It's always exciting. I might try to sneak in a draft here in between some of our booth shifts.
Yeah, let's do that. Seeing some of the special treatments as well. The bright yellow cards for Aether Drift.
Yeah.
It's just like, okay, I could see the appeal there.
Yeah, it is really cool. I'm a big fan. And we see for Joseph there, he just has those ley lines face up.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's trying to get in the mind of Jack or if it's hiding behind that deck box and he can't see. But, I mean, it is reasonable to bring those in.
Yeah.
You did just see Jack beat you with the graveyard, So something like Leyline is reasonable. But the one thing about this Amulet Titan deck is you don't really need the graveyard to win. There's just certain draws. And the Aftermath Analyst is just a one-of. So it's an option. So, that the Amulet Titan decks gain that kind of advantage against people sideboarding against them because they can win in 2 different ways, similar to Breach, where, you can win with the graveyard, but you can also, just cast Titans and attack and win the game as well.
I mean, it kind of feels like a toolbox deck, what method of attack or what avenue should I take for this opponent, for this matchup?
Yeah.
That sort of thing. So, it's never like a clear cut, okay, they are absolutely all in on their graveyard, like Team of Breach, for example.
Yeah.
So, it is pretty sweet.
It is a great deck, and the people that know how to play Amulet, are absolute masters of it, and I would think Jack Potter is at the very top of that. And, of course, this is still a deck that can just win on turn 2. You can go turn 1 Amulet, turn 2 Amulet, and just absolutely go off from there. So the deck has the speed, it has the resiliency, and its really biggest enemy was all the Harbingers and all the Blood Moons of the world. And to be honest, I really like this deck choice as I'm kind of thinking about where the metagame is right now. Since Mox Opal got printed, Blood Moon and Harbinger used to be amazing against Breach, but it's way less exciting now when you can just have a mana of any color off your Opal for free.
Yeah.
So the Blood Moon effects just are nowhere near as good. You see lists that play 1 or 2 in Boros Energy at the very most. So Amulet looking to be in a good spot.
I bet Jack is very happy about that, sitting at 2-0 here this weekend. Joseph Irgang also sitting at 2-0. So off to the ideal start here this weekend.
Definitely.
At, the regional championship in Portland.
And looking at Joseph's hand, kept on the play 3 lands, Bauble, DRC, Orcish Bowmaster, and a Thoughtseize. So a good mixture of some aggression with a timely Thoughtseize that can really help out, take a Titan right before it's that time from Jack. So not going to be that explosive Hollow One draw that we have seen in the past, but still a very solid draw and has some interaction for the combo this time around.
Arid Mesa to kick things off. Going to go and find either Mountain or Plains. Blood Crypt. Whacking himself for 2. Thoughtseize?
I would think you want to get your threat down, your DRC into Bauble first. But, there is some argument. If Jack does have the Amulet, that is really the one card you wish that you could interact with right away.
Yeah.
But it's hard to deny the value that you get from the free Surveil with Bauble.
Sweet. Free spells. They're pretty good. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah, gotta love it. Free value, good. So we'll see if Jack has the namesake start. of Amulet. Once Amulet's in play, there's a couple meltdowns in the board from Joseph. But outside of that, can't really do too much. But just the Saga to fetch it up here in 2 turns.
Yep. Arboreal Grazer going to be able to get in the way of this Dragon's Rage Channeler when it eventually starts flying. 3 card types in the graveyard so far.
Yep, looks like it. Double Street Race cycled, so now Hollow 1 does only cost 1 if we're able to find one. There's a Leyline top deck. You never really want that.
Thoughtseize, now we're going to get a Surveil from the Dragon Rage Channeler. DRC, it's much easier to say that. So.
Yep. And that will be Delirium, so at least the pressure has begun. And I believe we saw a Nethergoyf as well from Joseph. So Joseph has a nice start.
Yeah.
Has cleared off any real threat so far. The only Primeval Titan out of the hand. So, if Jack were to never draw another way to get a Titan into play, it is going to be tough for Jack to win.
Yeah. I love these dice. They're so handy.
Yep, Tarmo dice.
Yeah,
you need them.
Tarmo dice. Jack Potter, though, we saw the hand there. Doesn't have much going on. We had the prime time, but it's now in the graveyard, so has to start figuring out how to win with just lands. Now, we do know that Urza Saga can start spitting out little constructs.
Yeah.
Is that enough?
Not a great plan from the Amulet side, as they are never that large. These constructs end up being the play pattern you'll see if Jack's hand is bad is, make one on turn 3, make one on turn 4, get an Amulet. There are a couple of 3/3s. They're pretty much blockers, but Urza Saga just fetches up the namesake card of Amulet.
Now we see Fear of Missing Out. Going to get rid of some of these Leyline of the Voids. And just get swinging.
Okay, this is a huge attack.
That is. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yeah, looks like the Arena of Glory is exerted. I think they're
nice.
just representing that. So that did give the Nethergoyf the ability to attack again with Delirium here. So, the pressure's on.
Yeah, that's a big chunk of damage there.
But all that being said, Jack can still just win the game if he draws one of the 3 other Titans, any of the packs, maybe the Teleria West would be enough depending on what we find, as I know there was a Lotus Field from Jack's side. So a big tell that you'll see here is if Jack makes a construct, didn't draw what we needed.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like I can put this in the way of the 5/6 and cross my fingers and hope, but
yeah. And the problem is you can put it in front of the way of the 5/6 once, but it would get to tap again.
Yep.
If I see that being tapped, I am not feeling great. As Jack has something to do, and Jack's deck kind of does one thing. Put some Titans into play.
Yeah. Get some Titans, get some lands.
Looks like the map, though, so probably doesn't have Titan just completely ready to go right now.
So then Expedition map can go and fetch Teleria West. That can fetch the Summoners pack. That can fetch the Titan.
Exactly.
Is that how that works? Yeah.
That is how that works, but I don't think the clock really allows that. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But Jukabog to just not die.
Ah, cool.
Shrinks the Nethergoyf down to nothing.
And the DRC.
And DRC, and makes Fear of Missing Out not able to have that ability. So, excellent play there from Jack. We'll buy him a good chunk of time. But all that being said, Jack still, of course, does have to find Primeval Titan here at some point.
Yeah. Not much else to win the game outright without the big critter there. So spelunking aplenty on the board now for Jack Potter. Gonna get to ramping and hopefully find the Primeval Titan.
Looks like a meltdown off the top there from Joseph. Not exactly what's needed. So looks like this was Arena of Gloried as well. So just an extra 1 piece of damage here via haste. But when you got the extra mana lying around, why not?
And there's our Orc army. It'll grow so long as the Orcish Bowmaster sticks around. But, extra point of damage could matter.
Yep. And, you know, the Bowmaster is not very good against Amulet, but it would have been nice last turn with the double spelunking.
Yeah.
Where Jack really just can't not play his cards. You know, he has to just play into it. So would have dealt a couple extra damage, but the fear of missing out was way too powerful last turn.
Speaking of damage, I think Joseph's done most of the damage to himself here.
Yeah.
Down to 11 and 9 is Jack.
Really reminiscent of kind of the old Death Shadow days.
Yeah.
Gotta love this. Burning Inquiry could be anything. You know, Jack's probably fine with this at this point, as, you know, wants to find some cards. The one thing is Bowmaster does get those triggers here, which is real nice.
Is that enough now?
That might be enough, yeah.
Because what's that, 3 to face, and then the Orc army grows to a 4/4?
Oh, definitely enough. So I don't really know much that Jack can have here as far as instant speed way to interact. Maybe like an Otawara to bounce the Orc army, something like that. But, of course, it's all random, too, whatever the last card's left in his hand. So, yeah, this should be heading to a game 3.
All right, sweet. Cool. So Joseph found a way to stave off the damage there from the Titan. That Thoughtseize coming in pretty clutch there.
Definitely.
Because then Jack was kind of floundering, trying to find a way through this matchup. But we are going to go to a game 3. Corey, what's the plan here?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said it right. The Thoughtseize was so key. If that Thoughtseize didn't hit Amulet Titan there, it was just over. You know, it was just over pretty aggressively when that Saga came out. But that is kind of the recipe to beat these combo decks that we're seeing in Modern right now. Pressure mixed with timely disruption.
Yeah.
And that can usually get it going. Outside of that, I'll be interested to see if Joseph keeps in the ley lines. You know, like, I don't think they're that great in this matchup, but if you really just need to get some other stuff out of your deck, totally fine. Hollow One is also extremely good at discarding, you know, cards that are not so great in your hand in the late game with all the Faithless Looting, Burning Inquiries. So maybe just the high-risk, high-reward aspect of having it in your opening hand is enough, but wouldn't expect too many changes from Jack's side either.
It's kind of funny. Game 3, you just almost go back to your game 1 game plan. It's just like, I just need to win this now. Got a couple extra pieces to help me here, but, you know, proactive play might be the better option. And the proactive thing for you to do, friends, is to go and check out the flash sale this weekend. It ends on Monday. Go and get your free shipping on all singles over $50. So go find all those nice fancy cards you've been wanting. Go pick up some new things from the latest set from Aether Drift. And, go chuck some new shinies into your lists.
Yeah, I have the huge advantage of whenever these flash sales are going on, I am stationed out of Roanoke, where SCG is as well. So I get to just pick them up in store when I go into film Commander Versa. It's perfect. They always have a lot of great sales going on pretty much every week. So, yeah, check them out for sure.
Yeah. Go get your store credit because you get extra value if you sell them your singles.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that.
Absolutely.
The regional championship here in Portland would not be possible without the help of our sponsors, Beckett and Dragon Shield. So if you're looking to get your cards graded and protected, be sure to check out Beckett and go pick up some sleeves to keep your cards protected.
Yeah, gotta love it. Two of the best in the biz here sponsoring Live Magic. So huge shout out to our two sponsors as, sponsoring and helping out Live Magic, Live Paper Magic. There's nothing better in this world.
Hell yeah. Both players having a good chat here while they're shuffling up and getting ready for game number 3.
Yep, I would think this is the game that heavily favors Jack. You know, I think Joseph will really have to, I would say, aggressively mulligan to that extremely fast Hollow One draw, or just have like multiple Thoughtseizes, maybe a Meltdown, maybe a Leyline, like multiple pieces of interaction, or try to get those multiple Hollow Ones as fast as possible. I do see 2 Hollow Ones and a Faithless Looting. Now that isn't enough on its own. So I don't think Joseph can mulligan this. Like that's just too good. But being able to cast turn 1 Faithless Looting, you are just praying. Come on, Street Wraith, one time, as that will make it so you can play both those Hollow Ones straight away on turn number 1.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it looks like Jack's taking a mulligan as well. That's another thing that I think Joseph would just be hoping for is, all right, mulligan to Oblivion on the other side.
Yeah.
As I do think this is still a bit of a rough matchup, even though Hollow One can be extremely fast.
Mulligan to 6 here for Jack. Let's see if he's more of a fan of this hand. So we can get a sneaky peeky there as he just flashes the cards at us, and looks like he is happy with that. So
I saw land amulet, so it's got to be, the rest of your hand has to be pretty bad to not keep it.
Yeah.
And the one thing that Jack can always hope for is if his hand is not so great, you can always just hope your opponent burning inquiries and fixes your hand. Ooh, Joseph didn't go for the Faithless Looting here. Wanted to guarantee playing a Hollow One.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, we
There's
hope
a risk
it's
to
nice.
it. There's a risk to it for sure.
Cruel Turf in after the amulet, bouncing the land. Now we get to explore and get another land into play, also untapped. And a card drawn here now for Jack.
So this is guaranteeing Joseph gets to put at least one 4/4 into play next turn, but also giving him a higher likelihood to find a Street Wraith and really be able to put a bunch of Hollow Ones into play. You also get your Ruckus Theater here, so you can try to help out your draw a little bit.
These Surveil lands were so sweet.
Yeah, they were. I was a bit of a skeptic right when they got printed for Modern, and I was immediately proven wrong the first deck I put them in. I'm like, okay, I'm adding a second. I'm adding a third. They have been incredible.
Whenever I can, I pick up one, because it's like, I just want these in all of my Commander decks.
There you go.
Faithless Looting now. Let's take a look at some extra cards here. Almost got Delirium online.
So now Joseph can have either Street Wraith, another Faithless Looting, Burning Inquiry if you want to gamble a little bit, all the ways to really put some Hollow Ones into play. Wow, discards one.
Hollow One in the bin.
That's shocking to me.
Who's taking the 2 damage?
Huh?
Oh, it's shocking to you. You take 2 damage.
I'm just personally shocked. Wow, playing this really, really conservatively here.
What? Look. Look at those grazers. What are you all doing in there, buds?
Pretty bad hand here from
not
Jack.
Great,
that's for sure.
All right.
But something like a bounce land or something, and Jack is really online once again. And there it is, bounce land right away. So, I mean, yeah, we might be already doing it this turn.
Yeah. Okay, let's see how we get things going here. Start things off with our Boreal Grazer, Summoner's Pact. Let's go find our big chunky friend.
And it is already prime time, and that's the big problem. I mean, Jack's hand was not great, but if you find one bounce land, you are online. But if Jack were to just sit there for a couple turns without one, you're in a lot of trouble. But as it stands now, basically GG.
That land's like a Soul Ring land. It's so cool. There's the Battlements, giving this guy haste. He's attacking again, so we got to find more lands. What's it now? Time for Lotus Field, maybe?
Probably Bajuka Bog.
Oh, yeah, Bog.
To interact, and then probably a way to have blue mana so that Teleria West that Jack returned can get another Primeval Titan if there's any removal for the first one. But Jack's going to know in this list, like, there is just no way for Joseph to kill Primeval Titan outside of 2 bolts, and there's only 2 bolts in the 75. So Joseph's deck is not great at killing a Titan once it's on the battlefield. So I would think you got to be a heavy, heavy favorite here from House of Mana side.
You just see the side there from Joseph. Gets bogged. Faithless Looting. Going to do its best here to try and get something going for the Hollow One player.
Yeah, and Thoughtseize, no more real value to that one.
Wow, and Bowmasters, yeah, get out of there, man. Arid Mesa, gonna go crack and fetch a mountain or plains. Down to 10 now, so he's taking a bunch of damage. This prime time plus another one potentially is just GG.
Yep, absolutely. Looks like Jack had another land in hand, that Vestige, plus the West to transmute for another Titan next turn. We'll have to pay for the Summoner's Pack, so probably won't be able to muster up a pre-combat prime time. But, these are just blockers.
Yeah.
And the string of Titans really never stops once they begin. So it's going to be a tough game for sure for Joseph.
This deck is silly, man.
It really is.
I'm just trying to play good, honest Magic down here with my free 4/4s.
Yeah, not really good, honest Magic on the Amulet Titan side. That's for sure.
I can see why you like this format, though.
Yeah, it's great. It is great.
Like you mentioned, the Hollow One's just going to be blocking here up against this Titan. Titan number 1. Was there a second Titan in the bin at the moment? Yeah.
Yeah, another one in the bin. And we have the Teleria West, but if we don't have a Pact or a Titan, pre-combat playing one of these Titans, giving it haste is probably off the table. But, you know, being able to Titan up a bounce land or two should be able to at least play one post-combat. At the very least. Could see House of Mana doing much more here.
Swinging in again. Attack trigger, Boseiju, and the Simic Growth Chamber will hit the board.
This is spicy. This, if there's going to be a double block, that Boseiju that was just picked up can do that. But yeah, correct block there. Joseph had to block with the whole
Everything,
team.
yeah. Definitely keeping an eye on that. So just one creature would die there still, right? Oh, never mind.
And the one of Otawara for just the max blowout here.
Okay, so, wow.
Unreal.
What an exchange here for Jack, coming out on top in every single way possible. Joseph loses 2 creatures, 3 creatures, and this is looking like it's going to be Jack Potter's match.
Yeah, absolutely. The Titan Master looking like he's going to advance to 3-0 and definitely be the start he wants here.
Flashing back, Faithless Looting, dig, 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 help, help, he says, but there's only one more Hollow One in the deck right now, and nothing else to deal with this massive Titan on the board.
Yeah, and now the problem is there was the Summoner's Pact holding Jack back a little bit for this last turn. That restriction is gone. Now you're able to just for sure transmute Teleria West, play another Titan, give that one haste, attack with 2 Titans, and should be all wrapped up here.
Goodness me. So, see, there was a Hollow One in hand there. Joseph's just doing some math.
Yeah, has the Meltdown as well to just deal with the Amulet. You know,
does that even matter at this point?
All fine and good. If anything, somehow maybe it'll keep him alive next turn. Maybe. You know, the battlement could still sway this. But anything that Joseph does here is a Band-Aid.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Band-Aid on a knife wound at this point.
Pretty much, yep.
There goes the amulets. But look how much mana he still has available to him. What's that? 2, 4, 6, 8.
Just 10 mana available so far.
Not too shabby.
Cool. There's the transmute. Make sure to get the other Primeval Titan. Maybe you get one of your other cheeky creatures. You can get Lumra.
Oh, yeah, the big bear. I love that guy.
Exactly.
That bear's sick. And it's going to be huge, too.
Exactly. But when
boo.
Primeval Titan, always a fine go-to creature here, as you can get Crumbling Vestige, give it haste, attack, and win the game.
Okay, sure. That is pretty dumb.
Yep.
It's kind of just like mono green Stumpy.